Hello. Good evening. I'm back. It's Tuesday night and we're looking at simple card readings or different ways that you can read your cards and breaking it down, making it simple. Just waiting for people to come on board. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to turning cards tonight. Okay. I've got a few different card spreads to show you as well, and focusing on really reading for self. I think that's the hardest thing to do because it's hard not to be biased. It's hard not to know, or maybe there's an answer, you're looking for an answer that you want to see, maybe not seeing what the cards are actually showing you. And I think that's difficult when reading for yourself. Let me just check that all the technology is working tonight. Good evening, Sharon. Yes, it must be doing everything I expect it to. I am riding solo tonight, so just making sure that everybody on YouTube, yes, and Facebook. All right. Hello, Emily. How are you? Good evening. Have you brought your cards along? Did you get your cards out the cupboard? If you do have some cards, maybe go and grab them. If you're like me, well, I always use the same ones, even though I have lots of different decks of cards to play with. Yes, we're all catching up now. Hey, Teresa, how are you? So like I said, we're going to look at a few different card spreads. I hope you're staying warm and having a good start to your week. We've made it this far. Oh, Katie, that's fantastic. 8 face-to-face. That's huge. Oh, and for a fantastic cause. No longer a virgin. You popped the cherry, Kate. Oh, well done. Good job. Good job. Oh, good job. Okay. So like I just said, if you do have a deck of cards, go and grab them out. If not, it doesn't matter. Still learn something new tonight. And then, of course, I'm going to be turning cards and giving out messages. That'll be tricky because, like I said, I'm riding solo tonight, so I have to try and watch the messages and talk at the same time. Multitasking. So if I do miss you, I do apologize. Hello, Lynn. Hello. All good so far. Excellent. We're working well. All right. So we're going to start off with, and I, again, tested my skills with technology, with reading for ourselves. And I think, like I said, that's the hardest one. However, you can use all of these card spreads if you are reading for somebody else. So again, it would just be that intention that you're setting out, you know, if they're picking the cards. And I did want to answer a couple of questions first that I did get emailed to me. And it was interesting because these were particularly about cards. So I will just bring that up because I did think... Okay, so I got a wonderful email from Miss Charlotte. She sent me in a lot of questions. I think I've got about 40 here, all different paragraphs and categories. So it'll be interesting over the next few shows to talk about them. However, one of the first ones was cards. So one of the first questions, so just answering these for Charlotte, was how do I choose one card deck to use for readings? Look, I think that's a good question, and most people struggle with this a little bit, finding that deck of cards they really resonate with. I think for me, it was about finding a deck of cards that I really enjoyed, resonated with, could work with, could get to know, could understand, because you're trying to learn almost like a second language. You're trying to learn how your intuition and the universe or whatever, wherever you find hope and belief, that connection and what's going on. So, you know, as you all know, these are my favorite cards and I use them for all of my readings. However, in saying that, I have lots of other cards. I have oracle decks there. I have angel decks there. Tarot decks there, all different types. So I think, how do you go about choosing one? The one that you resonate with. And it took me a little while. I mean, it was probably 16 years ago when I found this deck of cards here. But I did wonder for a while, just couldn't find one that I really enjoyed. So find what resonates first. I think that's important. How do I connect and bond with my cards? Again, a great question. I think the more energy you can get on them, the better. When I first got these, I literally would just sit in front of the TV, shuffling them, just turning them, looking at the pictures, what they meant to me, what stood out. In my opinion, I'm not big on reading the book. I think that makes it very structured and sometimes very difficult, because when you're looking at it, maybe you're feeling something different. And again, you're working with your intuition and learning about that. So I think carrying them on you, I used to always have these, in my backpack or in my satchel. And reading with them and trying to read with them if you can daily. And that's why some of these card spreads that we're going to look at tonight are going to be great, because they're simple, they're quick. You don't have to turn 12 cards. It's not, an hour session that you're looking at when you're reading these cards. It's about, quick, because then we can be persistent and consistent with it, and we get more confident with it. And then we can branch out with that. If you go and see a reader, if you come and see me, you're definitely going to get an hour in that reading, if sometimes a little bit more. But that's because I've done this for a very long time, and I have a structure to my reading and how it works. But, we've talked about this before, about running marathons. Let's just start off with the 1K. So maybe start just doing short 10-minute readings. Or even 5 minutes, 3 minutes if you like. Just getting that connection and feeling comfortable in what you're doing, and then moving on from there. I will certainly let you know, Lynn. I say the difference between tarot and oracle decks. Obviously, traditional tarot decks, you'll know, you've got the Way to Write deck. You're going to have the Fool cards. You're going to have the Tower cards. You're going to have the ones that look like this. That's traditional tarot. So what you'll get is you'll get different versions of this. So the pictures might be slightly different. The interpretation, I've got the Banksy tarot deck. That's all street art. However, the suits and how they run, and the mages and the minors, they're all exactly the same. The meanings of the card itself doesn't change, even though the illustration does. An oracle deck is when someone has created a deck of cards. They had their own meaning, their own illustrations, obviously, but they also it's an oracle, so it doesn't have to match the traditional tarot. And they are, I think, a little bit more lenient. I think oracle decks, that's what mine is. Mine's the psychic. It looks like. Got it all here tonight. This is the book from it. As you can see, I've never read it. The Psychic Tarot. So this one lines up with the tarot cards quite closely, but it's still an oracle. It has its own interpretation. All right, let's talk about some card spreads. And if you've got your cards with you, I guess one of the first things is, how do I cleanse my cards? I just give them a good shuffle, a really good shuffle. And if I'm reading for myself, I don't actually like to focus on something. I let the universe choose what it needs me to know, unless, I guess, if you are wanting to know about finances, maybe you're thinking about that question. But to cleanse the cards first, I just give them a really good shuffle, move the energy around a little bit, and give them a good knock. So we're knocking the energy out, clearing them. You can imagine, throwing that stone into a pond, and that energy is going to spread out. Same kind of effect. Some people like to sage their cards. They have crystals. Keeping an amethyst in your tarot bag is a great idea. So that's how I'd normally start, and then for myself, give them a shuffle, and then just spread them out. And usually with the hand I don't write with, I use that also, when I do readings for other people, because I want my emotional side. I don't want my logical side. When I'm choosing cards, some people like to shuffle the cards until cards jump out, or you can spread them out and run your hand along, feel for a different sensation. That's the card I'm drawn to. That's the one that I want to take. I think there's no rules. I think it's about figuring out what works for you. Oh, they're a bit jumpy. All right, let's have a look at the traditional tarot spread here. This can be oracle as well. So any cards you can use for this kind of spread. And I've got some here. Uh-oh. I don't know if that was working. Can anybody see the image of the cards come up? So any cards you can use for this kind of spread, and I've got some here. Are we there? Oh, you saw them? Oh, good. I can't quite see. Okay, so let's go back to that. I'm there. Oh, you saw them? Oh, good. I can't quite see. Having a slight technical difficulty, if that's a thing. Okay. We can quite often be doing the past, present, future. It's just those standard three cards and how they come together. So first I'm going to show you some different card spreads because there's so many out there. There's a lot of traditional ones, but a lot of fun ones too. And of course, if it works, we're going to continue doing it. So past, present, future is that very direct, or even how is my day. You know, you could do morning, noon, and night, or you could just do if I just show you here with mine. So if I was doing, say I was doing today, having a look at what my day might be like. You know, I like to spread the cards out, and this is just an example, and choose three cards. So past, present, future. Kind of like it like this because it's just that kind of peak as they're going through. Oh, look at that. So how do we link these together? Well, of course, we're looking at this card for me, the power card. It's saying where I felt maybe powerless in the past. I'm feeling like I'm getting my power back now. And yes, I'm getting my power back. What should I put it towards? The present at the moment is financial material changes. So my home, my work, my security. And if I do that in the future, it's going to bring me more clarity. That's a very simple 3-card spread that you can just go, okay, boom, boom, there they are. That's what I'm looking at. But there are different varieties. So I wanted to show you a couple of different ones here. And what I like about, you know, those kinds is, again, it sort of broadens your mind to what you can actually ask. You know, if you don't look at these things, you just get kind of stuck on that what's my day, and the cards kind of sit on the shelves and we don't get them out and we don't use them because we think, okay, I've got to sit here and shuffle and put out, you know, 12 cards, 21 cards and look at them all and then read the book 21 times and then try and link them all together, and then we put them away and we don't get them out, you know, because it's become too big to start with. Let's go back to it and just bring it out and just start turning those cards again and using them and shuffling them. Are any of those cards one? Oh, sorry. Does anybody else read daily? Do they get their cards out and read for themselves? Is it something that you enjoy doing? Maybe what deck of cards you're using at the moment as well? Now, another one coming up here. I do. Yes, you do, Katie. And I think it's important. I think it's that being consistent. You know, if you're learning a new language and you try and use it every day, you get more confident and you get better at it, and things come together a little bit easier. This is one that Katie will know. She would have seen before when we were looking at this at Threefold. I know when I first started working with my cards, you know, I like I said, I just wanted to use them. I just want to get energy on them. I just wanted them. I just wanted to connect and just not have to think to read the cards. I wanted to just be able to use my intuition. I didn't want to turn a card. I didn't want to be. And let me just might bring this up. If I was turning cards, I didn't want to be going, oh, okay, same three. Must have just picked them straight off the top of the pile. Sitting here going, okay, these are the cards now, and especially if you're reading for somebody else, and then having to go, hang on a second, let me get the book out. Because what you're doing then is your interpretation is coming from the book, and all your focus is coming from that, and then you're pegging it to the next one, and then you're pegging it to the next one, but you're not actually using your intuition. And I think that grows with your readings as well, because cards are a tool and something that we use, but you're still going to be using that third eye. You're still going to be using your intuition, and what you're drawn to. So many people just give up in the beginning because they think, you know, they've got to learn this entire book and this huge challenge. And I'm like, no, just start and you'll figure the rest out. So, excuse me, another really great card spread that I saw that I thought you might like. Oh, you can't hear me talking when I put the card spreads up. Oh, here I am like explaining it like a mad person. Let me try again. I'll run through them quickly. I'm not sure why no one can hear me. That's a shame. I'm sure you can hear me now. So I will put them up quickly and then I will talk about it, and then that way you get a little bit more understanding. So you would have seen the Stuck in a Rut one, which we loved. It had the questions there that you run along to the same shape as the arrow. A different way to have a look at your cards, and it makes it a little simpler when you don't have to think of the questions as well. You kind of look at it and you go, yeah, there's some set questions that would bring me some clarity. I want to be able to have a look at that, making that job a little bit easier, making us want to pick our cards up, get that relationship with them, and then start reading with them. You'll get to the point where you'll have your own way of reading and things that work for you and your own card spreads there. So having a look, I think, will be great. Coming down here, this was one that I thought was interesting, so I'll pop it up for a second. Oh, Emily, you took your cards out during the moon. Oh, wonderful. You can charge them, cleanse them, clear them, moon energy. We should be using it for everything. So this one here is a fantastic idea as well. So I'll just bring it up. So as you can see with that set, so we're looking at 7 and kind of getting some progress during your week, using your cards as that kind of planner and moving forward. I thought it was a fantastic idea. When I saw it, I was like, that's actually something I would like to try and have a look at moving them forward. And like I said, Pinterest, your best friend when it comes to card spreads. Also, there's plenty on Google, but I was very surprised and have been over the years how much I find there, and pendulum charts as well. A fantastic place to find those. Oh, and one that there's here for when we've been in a mood. We've all been in a mood, and sometimes we're dealing with other people that aren't being particularly nice. And this was just a little funny one that I came across and enjoyed. So that was just a fun one. And like I said, there's lots of ones there, and it's still going to get you that same result. You're still going to be, the universe has a sense of humor, and it's about going also making it lighter a little bit so that we can do it. If you're really emotional and you're sitting down to draw cards and there's an answer that's all that you want to see is that answer, you'll turn, and we've talked about it before, you're like, oh yeah, I'll turn 3 cards, then 3 turns into 5 and 5 turns into 17 because you want to get that card that you want. That's not unusual. That's human nature, I think. We all want to, get the answer that we want. And I think that's important when we're reading cards, to be able to go, yep, this is how they play out very quickly so that we want to continue doing it. I don't know what's going on tonight. Mercury is not in retrograde. I'm pretty bloody sure of that. However, my technology is not helping me whatsoever. But we will keep going. I will, as we now start, just before we start turning some cards actually for everybody. And tonight, if it's working on when it's just my cards in front of me, I was going to show you how I link the cards together. And that's a good way for you to kind of look at how you can link your cards together. And it depends what card deck you use. Like I said, this is another one by John Holland, and this is a heart one. But obviously, this is very much that niche. It's about heart and the heart chakra and compassion and love and unconditional love. So this is going to bring us very different answers than working with tarot or a different kind of oracle. But again, if you're using these are fantastic. No worries, Zoe, that would be awesome. Would really like my technology to stop messing up tonight. So I'll pop this down here for Zoe. Zoe, can you do me a favour? I'm just going to click this on. I'm going to show you the cards tonight as I go. I just want to make sure that when I do go to this screen that people can still hear me. Can you all still hear me okay? Because I know the microphone's not playing the game tonight. Let's give the cards a shuffle like I mentioned earlier. Everybody hear me okay? Okay, so let's have a look. Let's spread the cards out. Don't have much room tonight. What's going on? Okay, I'm just going to go to what I'm drawn to for you. And I'm going to be looking at, excellent, let me just write these down. So we've got Sharon. I'm going to link this as we go because we did talk about doing that 3 card spread. So let's have a look. I'm going to go here. This is for you, Zoe. Let's have a look. Ooh, Oh, I like these good looking cards and bringing them together like we talked about just before. Because I know these cards so well, I don't really have to think. As soon as I see it, I know everything that is linked to for me. So here the fertility cards. So sometimes it's a pregnancy, but really more about that birth of something new beginnings, maybe the beginning of a new 7-year cycle and moving forward, getting our head and heart on the same page. Super important at this time for you. But I am woman, hear me roar kind of energy is what this feels like. But what it's also turning you towards is home as well. You know, being proud of your home here, foundations and achievements. And this card here, we're looking into the home and realizing that really we're very lucky. We've got our family. It's quite blessed, and looking after this. However, it's as this kind of moves through here, we will have something that we're going to have to let go of. But it's a different kind of letting go. This is memories of love, and this is, you know, this could sometimes be a friendship, a relationship. It could be even a habit, or even a hobby. But something where you go, look, it's been great, but I'm going to let you go now. And you release that and you let that go. But are they good cards? Love them. This new beginning, this really giving them some more focus to home and being able to be just time with the family and enjoying that, getting that balance that we need, I think, between work and play. But then here also realizing maybe to get that, it's okay to let a few things go. But really good cards. There's nothing there that worries me at all. So I hope that was helpful. Emily, yes, we'll put you down as well. One card there jumping out tonight. It's all right, 1 second. I'm just grabbing these last names here. So I've got Emily, I've got Katie, I've got Delia. But first we have Sharon. I do apologise if I miss anybody. Let's have a look. It's a shame you couldn't hear me. I'm thinking now maybe the mic's working a little better. It's just frustrating because I was really wanting to talk about some of these ones here, like this one here. Because this is really good. This one here. So if you can actually hear me while I'm talking about that card spread, that would be great. But we will look at these again. All right, Sharon, let's have a look. Actually, my technology wasn't working too well today either with some online readings. I wonder what's going on. It's too cold. All right, let's have a look, Sharon. Again, going to do the 3 cards because we want to link these together. And although I may make this look easy when I'm linking these cards together, it's, you know, I've been doing this for a long time and I know this deck of cards very, very well. It takes time. But you'll get more confident with it and then you'll get to really enjoy it. Okay, Sharon. Oh, we like these. So rest and rejuvenate. This card's here. I was going to put it up to the screen. This one here, he's sitting in the forest meditating. However, that's not what I'm going to actually tell you to do. You can, if you like, go right ahead. But right now it's about rejuvenating. So, you know, getting that rest, doing what you love, what recharges your batteries. You know, that might be going out for a walk. It might be going out with friends. It might be reading a book. It might be, you know, having a rest. But whatever it is right now, it's saying to you, we just really need to recharge because this hope card here, and especially I think drawn to you with this hope card, you know, what's standing out for me is there's a little tiny person in this light here. You can't quite see it on the camera, but it's coming. This hope's coming and we can move forward with this person, but it's going to be all about the timing. See here, we're moving on. We're coming out of dark and into light. And hey, Robin, and you've got your timepiece there. So it's almost saying to you, look, what you want is there, but you're really going to have to choose the timing. You know, do we have a due date? Do we have that timeline so that it actually starts happening? But right now, rejuvenate. I think you're allowed to do whatever you like that makes you feel good. Why not? Sounds good to me. All right, Emily, let's have a look. Jumping out. Interesting. Okay, Emily. Let's have a look here. All right. I'm going to go this one. This one. Oh, I want to come back down here. Okay. Emily. Oh, big cards and very interesting. This one here, where we felt powerless before, now we're getting our power back. So you may have found, you're welcome, Sharon. You may have found, in situations, maybe it be work or home or even family or friends, that you just kind of felt like you just sort of drifting along or powerless in these situations. But it's certainly coming back. That's why we love this card. It's got this wonderful line here as well. And it's almost like you got all this momentum, you got all this power, and you were like, yeah, I've got a plan, I'm going to move forward. And we've hit a couple of little hiccups. And even though this gentleman here can keep running to the top of the stairs, he can go to that light, to that eternal light at the top, he's going, oh, I'll just go back to what I know. I'll just go back to this candle. I'll go back to this little bit of light. And then, of course, that candle burns out and he's like, oh, man, I'm at the bottom of the stairs again. I've got to keep going. I've got to start again. So even though there could be a little bit of conflict here, or maybe it's just gotten a little bit difficult, don't give up. Keep going. Keep that power going, because this here positive movement forward, again, this boat, for a little while just a boat on the water, but now it's like, no, around homework, money and security, putting that sail up and really determining what you're sailing towards and where you're going. So these three cards, even though this one's here, it's not saying to you, terrible things are coming. It's just saying here, you might get a bit defeated. We all do. At the moment, we're all physically and emotionally exhausted. We've got the weight of the world on our shoulders. The world's opening up again, life's starting to get some movement again, so decisions are coming in again, and this time we're looking at it differently. None of us are where we were 5 years ago or where we're going to be in 5 years' time. And so it's just kind of saying here, just try and move with it a little bit, keep the faith, and keep going, because you're going to get there, and it's going to be good. This card here, that's a great journey, moving towards the sun. So I really like that. Well done, Emily. Good cards. Let's have a look, Katie. Yes, Robin, I can pop you down on the list. Let's have a look. You're welcome, Emily. You're welcome. Okay. Katie. Oh, Katie, are we going to see some red cards after mentioning about your work? I think we might. Let's have a look. Oh, I'm going to go this one. And here. Oh, no, down here. We'll go that one. Katie. All right. You might not like me in the beginning, but you'll like me more towards the end. So this one here is the Solitude card. And at the moment it just says here 9. We're wrapping something up. Okay, but there's 1 star, 1 column, 1 person, 1 book. And solitude, for me, this isn't about loneliness, okay? It's about being self-full. It's time to invest in yourself. So you might look at a course, you might look at some new learning, there might be a traineeship. But when you look at this, it's about looking about all the aspects of your world. So it says here financial and material changes. And this is about having our path set out and how we're going to move forward and what we want. Home, work, relationships, dreams. It's about what do I want and can I study with this? Do I want to be able to move somewhere different and study and have that different life? Or do I want to stay where I am but still be able to invest in self? This card here tells me that, you're allowed to be very, not selfish, but self-full at the moment. You're allowed to make it all about you. She's building mountains here. She's just focusing on herself, speaking her truth, wearing that blue. So what is it that you'd really like to do? And obviously here having to look at how that affects you financially, materially, home dreams, relationships, what do I want from that? And yes, there's probably going to be sacrifice here. This is the sacrifice card. But what I like about this card is it just says here you've got to go through some dark, muddy waters with this homework, money, and security situation. And there could be a sacrifice of money here where you're like, well, I can study, but it's going to be tight for 6 months, and I have to be really close on that budget. But then it says here, once you get through that, she has found paradise. So she's very rewarded, but she does have to make the sacrifice first. So I think this might be an opportunity for a traineeship or something that you'll be able to do coming in. These cards are looking good today. Let me just write that note down for you, Robin. Thursday afternoon. The cards tonight. Oh, I tell you what, my cards in general lately, they've been doing a good job. Yeah, love these cards. All right. Delia, it's your turn. Let's have a look. Turning 3 cards tonight. Hey, yeah. All right, let's have a look. And this one is for... is it Jay? And then we've got ending in 723. I will put you on the list. So you will be in 2 more. So we've got Delia and then Robin, and then I will read for you. But let me just get back to D and having a look. Let's have a look, D. Go here. Oh, I'm going to go up here as well. And one more. Oh. Good to get there. Okay. So very interesting. It's the first time tonight we're actually missing. No, these cards are actually saying it's time to make some really big decisions, but some good decisions. I've mentioned this card, before. This is my harmony card. Just saying. This is about the fairy tale. Just saying. So this is saying here, you can have that fairy tale. You can have that story where we get that happily ever after, and we go forward into the happy, the happiness of what a fairy tale is. However, in every fairy tale, the classic ones that we see growing up, and I always use this as an example, if we use Cinderella, Cinderella had to get herself out of the castle, had to turn a pumpkin into a carriage, she had to get, some mice to help with a dress, she had to get herself to the ball, and then Prince Charming turned up. Okay, but then he gets all the credit. Okay, so what you need to do here is go, hang on a second, I want the happily ever after, I want to get to the end of that fairy tale. Well, you're going to have to get yourself to the ball. This is going to have to be sort of like a one-person army kind of event here. Will it bring you the happiness that you're looking for? Yes, but we do have to go on a journey to get there. Cinderella had to save herself, get herself to the ball, and then she got all of those lovely things. But here, you're going to be able to get what you want, Dee, so be very, very careful about what you're manifesting right now. Fulfillment of wishes, 9. So really starting to see the completion of maybe a cycle, or looking at going into that next cycle because we're finishing things up here, the next step. But fulfillment of wishes around the heart, double water. So, work and play there. So not just, doing well in career, but doing well with the heart and love and moving forward and having the things that we desire from that. However, to do this is the emotional loss card. And I don't know if you can see it very well on that camera. I usually do this, as you know, on this one. This one here is all about, and you can see here, he's putting his hands over his heart. And the reason he's doing that is because for a long time you have been giving out love or emotion to someone or something, and you've been giving it out and giving it out. And now it's kind of saying, that's it. It's time to just love me, make my decisions, look after me, give myself that love so that I can move forward. So really looking at these cards, you're going to have to get yourself to the ball. You're going to have to get yourself out of the castle and where you need to be. You can have what you like, but to do this, you will have to cut a tie. You will have to cut a tie with that person to be able to move forward. So really good cards. I like these. I like them. Yes, very clear. Yes, Athena, I can pop you on here as well. Just check my list. Okay, let's have a look. And Fiona. I have to watch the time as we go here, but yes, Fiona, I think you might be one of the last. But that's okay, because right now we've done D. Robin, you had a question too about Thursday afternoon and finding out what's going on. Let's have a look. All right, Robin, pick you out some cards. This one. Sending you all the luck in the world, Robin. It is so hard at the moment. This one. Strange things are happening. Things jumping off shelves. Oh, yep, I reckon you're going to get this, Robin. Okay, these cards work in your favor, which is what we like to see. Here, night and day, it says here for a long time now, you've been sitting with this decision in hibernation in the dark, in the night, contemplating, thinking, trying to figure it out, trying to make progress. You know, when we have those 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning thoughts when we're trying to right the world. But we have a passing of the baton here and things are going to come to light. There might be something different about this time round. Whether for you that gut instinct is there, that awareness card, you're kind of like, no, there's something about this that feels right. And then this last card, which is probably the important one out of the 3 with the question you were asking about Thursday afternoon. And that is here, recognition and reward. So, and it's red all around that base chakra, homework, money, security, being able to see that we're being recognized here. He does have his head down, so at first it might be a bit surreal. You're like, really? That's great, you know. But night and day here, big passing of the baton, things coming to light, big change. There must be maybe just a different awareness about it this time. Like you just feel a little bit more, yeah, I kind of feel like this is right. And then that recognition and reward. And I think you definitely deserve it. So I hope that was helpful, Robin. Adding to my list. Okay, now I'm going to read now. Yes, hey, you're next. And Athena, yes, I'll answer that question about the job interview. So I think it's Dre. I can't quite see, but it's the 00723. What's up? It's your turn. We're going to do these 3 cards for you. Let's check it out. This will be interesting, I think. All right, let's have a look. Just do 3 general ones. You haven't really asked a question, so I'll just have a look for you. I go this one. This one. And this one. Oh, wow, heavy. Okay, so very interesting for you at the moment. Right now, the solar plexus, and that kind of bringing in more energy or needing to rely on that a little bit more. So self-confidence, gut instinct, courage, a bit of ego. It's like, come on, we got to get that fire in our belly again and get going and move forward. However, you're definitely letting go of something here. This is memories of love. This is a big card, and it can be letting go of a person or a situation. It could be a hobby or a habit. It could be anything where you're kind of going, you know what, it's been great, but I've got to let you go now, or I've got to let this situation go now. this can be a passing where, we've got to let them go. We love them, but especially if, sometimes with a pet as well, and this is just an example, if you've got a cat that's 22 years old and it can't walk and it can't breathe and it's the medication that you're giving it daily, keeping it alive, sometimes we get to that point for some people where, the cruel to be kind theory that, we have to let them go, but we're letting them go with love, okay? It's almost like, I don't want to see you go, but you'll be kinder to be there. That same kind of feel here, or like we said, letting go of something, and to help with this here and moving through this, rest and rejuvenate. Time for you to have a little bit of a holiday or do what you love. Move forward, look after yourself. I'm not necessarily going to tell you to go out to the forest and do meditation, and I say that every time I see this card because that's not everybody's thing, but what do you do that you love? And really focusing on that and rejuvenating, because we've got to recharge those batteries. You've been through some stuff here, and we've got to do that healing, but also remembering that sometimes in life things have to be good. So what gets your adrenaline pumping? What rejuvenates you? Well, because when life comes back around, and it does soon enough, Monday turns up, we're recharged and ready to move forward with it. Good cards. Bit this one here, probably the one that kind of stands out, because there is that letting go. Sort of, I got to let that go, but that's okay, because now I can move forward and look after myself. And I hope that was helpful. All right, let's have a look at Athena. You wanted to know about the job interview. Is it warm there? Oh, it's a bit cold here actually at the moment. A bit cold here in Brisbane. Not what we're used to, that's for sure. Not even close to what we're used to. All right, Athena, let's have a look. Yes, Robin. Does feel different? That's good. All right, Athena, let's have a look. I'm gonna dig down here. I want this one for you. And this one? No, it's in here. Oh my goodness, Athena, I love them. Just with what your question was, and what these say here. So, all right, base chakra. Exactly what a job interview is about. Homework, money, security, work, money, all of those things that make us feel safe and secure in the physical world. Yours is about to come into balance here. There could be a change in home though. So this interview that you're having, because this is mental conflict, okay? And he's just getting in his own head. He's overthinking things here. It's a bit when you need to tell yourself to shut up because you're just like rattling through all of the equations or what could be or what couldn't be, or, we all have, especially if we're worried about money and things. He's really overthinking at the moment, but this is going to come into balance. This job interview could also bring opportunity, like I said, for new home or new direction, but bring some security. But this is the card that we want to see, and I don't know if you can quite see it. I'm going to show you quickly just on here because it's a pretty cool card. This one here. So partnerships and alliances. So what this one's doing here is they're saying they're reaching out to you. They're like, yep, come onto our team, come over here. They've really got your back too when we think about an alliance. Because this card for me is not a relationship on a lover's kind of perspective. This is more about a partnership. Let's work together. Let's build something together. So we've got here 1, 2, 3. So great numbers as well. Things all playing out. It's a bit like you're going to have to maybe just trust the process here, which can be really hard to do, especially if you're someone who struggles from maybe anxiety. If you're maybe a Virgo or a Capricorn or a Taurus, that overthinking, that analyzing going on. But good news for you, Athena. I really like that, especially when it comes to. There was 3 phases. Oh, are you Gemini? Oh, no wonder you're in your own head. You're in 2 minds. It's going to drive you crazy. Too much going on. Too much there. Yeah. It's a good, it feels secure, and maybe that's why the process is so long, because getting this opportunity is going to be great, and something that maybe you could grow in as well and move forward, which we like. Fiona. You overthink everything. Oh, the Gemini, both of you, the twins, it's just going to be da-da-da-da-da-da. But there could be a bit of a home change with this, or maybe it's a little bit more money and you're able to change home or something. That's something else coming along there as well. Okay, Fiona. I'm a bit annoyed that you couldn't hear me during the card spread readings tonight in the beginning. So I might do that again in a couple of weeks so that we can have a look, and I'll have a look at some different ones, and people can bring their cards along and turn some too. As you know, you can email me at askravencooper@gmail.com, and if you have questions or topics that you'd like to cover, I do this every Tuesday night at 7:30. And love to hear what people want to talk about, and always finish it off doing readings. All right, Fiona, thanks. I want to know if I'm on the right path and have made the right decisions. Whew. Feels good. Isn't it funny in life? I was just thinking them this as I was spreading the cards out. I want to know if I'm on the right path and have made the right decisions. And I think, how many times in life? So I was thinking, yeah, that's a lovely thing to be able to have in that direction. And I think, how many times in my life now, at my age, that I've thought I was on the right path and doing the right thing, and then it led to something completely different, or took me back around. Just an interesting thought. But let's have a look for you, Fiona. Okay, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go straight up the top here. I'm just drawn to it straight away. I'm going to go this one. Oh, I'm back up here. And this one. Okay. Oh. Okay, yeah. So, are you on the right direction? Are you on the right path, and have you made the right decisions? This card tells me this is the emotional withdrawal card, okay? And this one is all about taking the emotion out and doing what's smart. So I think sometimes we have to do that. It's about going, it makes me really nervous to think about selling my home and moving. However, if I look at it on paper and I talk to the accountant and I take the emotion out, it's the smart thing to do. So I think you've done this a few times with the decisions that you've been making. You have a lot of courage at the moment. You've made some big decisions. And like I said, sometimes you've got to take the fear out or take the guilt out and just be like, no, I've got to go. I've got to do this. And it's going to take courage and gut instinct and willpower for you to be able to do it. But I think, sometimes if we were leaving something here, whether it be a job or a relationship or a home, this emotional connection, it's take that out of the equation. What would you tell your best friend to do in this moment? But what's interesting is this card. So it looks a little scarier than it is. This one here is obstacles and challenges. Now, this tells me that you're on the right path. He's going the right way. There's a little bit of a break in the path here, but he's got lots of orbs. He's got lots of support here. So this is like me saying to you, Fiona, I'm going to come up and punch you in the arm. So you brace yourself, and I come up and I go tap, and it doesn't really hurt at all. And you're like, is that it? That's kind of this card. It says you're on the right path, and you're doing the right thing, but there's going to be some little obstacles. There's going to be some challenges. Isn't there always? And he stops and he looks down and he panics, and they're going, don't get overwhelmed. You're not going to fall. You can just step over this and keep going. You are on the right path, which is the question that you asked. But it's just when the little things crop up, and we're doing something here that takes so much courage and so much ability to be able to move forward. Sometimes little things, can just trigger it. The straw that breaks the camel's back, and you're going along really well in your day, and then all of a sudden there's no milk in the fridge, and it just seems overwhelming to go and, to the servo and get more milk, even though if you stopped and thought about it, it's all these other bigger things going on sometimes in the background. But for you, I'm saying, yes, you've made the right decisions. I tell you what, they haven't been easy. It's been difficult. It's taken courage. You're on the right path. Keep going. Even if we have little breaks, we're just going to step over and keep going with this. I think you've done great. I really do. I think they're great cards. Well done. Gee, everyone's looking at work at the moment. Everyone's really looking at work. Hello, Maureen. Everybody's looking at work and work situations and home and money and security. It's coming up in my readings time and time again. And I guess too, because, we talked about, the world's kind of opening up again and things are happening again. But really looking at where we're headed and what we need and where we're going. You're very welcome, Fiona. So I'll take one more person if you would like me to turn a card, and then I'm going to do just a general card for everybody. I hope everybody's well. I know at the moment here in Brisbane there's a lot of flu around, and of course COVID. It's been so cold, everyone's a bit under the weather. All right, we'll just do a general card for everybody for the week. Oh, Kerry, you would like... Oh, you just got in. Well done. Did I write your name down earlier? Did I miss you? Kerry, let's turn your card. Oh, we'll turn 3 because I've been doing 3 tonight. 3 is a number for some reason. Let's have a look and then we'll do that general card. So, Kerry, you're my last one. Let's have a look what we're drawn to. Oh, going to go here. And here. Nope, back down here. And that one. Okay, Kerry, this one's for you. Oh, sorry, they're just big cards, kind of punch in the face kind of cards. So the universe around you at the moment, Kerry, it's kind of really asking you, what do you want? You know, what do you want? What's on your vision board? What's on your to-do list? What is it that you want to bring into your world? But I will warn you with this card, best card in my deck, okay? It doesn't get any better than this golden ticket. But what it's saying to you here is, what would you like? Be careful what you wish for, all right? You know, if you're saying to the universe, oh, I just want to make enough money to pay the rent, you know, and then in a month's time, you're kind of like, oh, I'm only making enough money to pay the rent. And it's like, well, that's all that you asked for. So really now, I think maybe you're asking a lot from the universe, or you've been working really hard towards the things that the changes that you want to make and the things that you want to manifest and bring into your world. And here, this is the light card. She's like, it's like she's seen the light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to start coming in for you. So these good things coming in and you looking after yourself and moving forward, you know, making progress. The light at the end of the tunnel, you've got to the light. So how about we just sit in it for a little bit and enjoy it before we go into that next tunnel, we go into that next journey. So these cards, great. But this guy, this one here, the temptation card, this one for me, he doesn't bring more trauma in for me. Here's the temptation to go back to old ways. And that's why he's kind of looking back in the card. He's kind of reaching back here. There's also a heart on that key. So it could be a romantic situation. But here he's like, oh, he's tempted to go back to old ways, old habits, old thinking, people or places from the past. But it's about the temptation and being able to not dance with your devils. Maybe it's giving into fear or guilt or anxiety. But like I said, there's like literal trauma coming into your world. It's more about how you're going to deal with something, and you've made some big changes. You're certainly trying to shift things around here. But am I going to go back to old ways? Am I going to go back to old habits? Realizing, I think sometimes what our demons really are and figuring them out, and that can be, you know, different from day to day. But here it's like, no, keep going. You've got this. Don't let temptation take you to the side and can tick your tour off. Keep moving forward with the things that you're doing. Kerry, I do hope that was helpful. I will turn a card for you, Maureen, even though I said I was going to finish. You know you got me. You can have a card for sure. Let's have a quick look. All right, Maureen. How's it going? There's a lot of rain up there. Oh, this one. I'm going to go up here. Let's dig through. Oh! We love these cards. Okay, the Harmony card, talked about it earlier. This one here, the fairy tale, but of course Cinderella had to save herself first. Interesting words. Sounds like I've heard them before. So getting yourself, you know, out of the castle, getting yourself to the ball, getting yourself your carriage and your dress and everything that you need. So Cinderella saved herself and then the prince came in, but big change in home here. It's about looking at you know, what is it that would bring you the harmony, the happily ever after, the fairy tale around your home, work, money, and security? And even though you'll have these two options to look at, she's suffering in silence because she can't tell people about it. Or maybe it's best if she keeps it to herself. She's making big decisions. She's deciding what mountain she wants to take over next, but just making a big decision between those two, but keeping this very much low key and to yourself. But with this change in home here, will it definitely bring this harmony in? Yes, but you have to go and find this castle. It's not going to unfortunately come to you. You might have to go and let somebody know they should sell their property. But these cards here, fantastic, good movement forward. I love them. I love them. All right, general cards for everybody for the week. Let's do the last 3 cards. Let's have a look. I will let you know I have my next workshop coming up on the 23rd of this month of July, Saturday, 9 till 12 at Strathpine. It is crystals, auras, and dreams. We're looking at working with crystals and crystal grids. You're going to receive some tumbled crystals on the day and a grid to be able to take home and work with. We're going to look at, you know, how you can see auras, feel auras, work with auras, and also dreams and dream interpretation, how we can work with that and move forward. So that's going to be coming up on the 23rd. It's $85. Please let me know. You can let me know through Facebook, through YouTube, or like I've said before, my email is askravencooper@gmail.com. All right, here's 3. It certainly does, Morse. It certainly does. Well, let's have a look. All right, just for everybody. Come on, let's put some good energy into this. Let's give ourselves a good message this week. Like I said, a bit disappointed in my technology tonight that you couldn't hear me when I was showing you the card spreads, but we'll definitely look at that. Again, let's have a look. Oh, we just had that one. Yeah. So this week, what should we all be looking at here? We're all looking at some big decisions, but we're definitely being secret squirrel. We're keeping them to ourselves, or we're sitting solo to be able to think about them and suffering in a little bit of silence because maybe the story is too big to tell people about, or maybe you just want to sit and look at the view and make your decision before you let everyone know about it. But we sure will when we do, because here he is blowing his own trumpet. This is about going, I'm amazing, you know, this is the decision I've made. I'm going to move forward. I don't need, you know, I can support myself here. I can be my own cheerleader, and really breaking up that light. So once we make this decision next week, moving forward, but again, financial material changes. Seen these red cards a few times tonight. A lot to do with homework, money, and security, where we're going and where we want to be. Mountains, earth, home. But with this card, we're not just looking at one thing. Here we've got home, work, money, security. We're kind of looking at everything in our plan and where we want to go. But at the moment, maybe just keeping it to ourselves a little bit longer. But then we're going to be able to tell the world about it and have this new plan and this new movement forward. I love these cards. I think they're fantastic and will make for a pretty good week. So I hope everyone has done well tonight. Again, I apologize that you couldn't hear me during those card spread, which is a shame because I was hilarious and it was great. Because they're some of my favorite ones to have a look at, but I will try and do that again. Have a safe week. Look after yourselves. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Let me put this back to here. And also pay attention. What do we want to do next week? I was thinking maybe looking at, I want to look at dreams. Maybe a pendulum. Maybe I want to talk about pendulums. I don't know yet. We'll have a look. Or you can send me a suggestion, askravencooper@gmail.com, and we can start having a look. And I have some questions to answer from Charlotte again. She sent me some lovely questions. So we will look at those too. Have a great week. Get some good sleep tonight. Look after yourselves.